Aloha hoy.
I'm excited about today. I can't help
You're
it.
always excited.
You know what, though?
Which is good.
Yeah, exactly. This is what...
It would be kind of boring if we're going high.
Yeah. That reminds me of...
today?
You know in that movie, Inside Out?
Yeah.
Who's the one that's always down and depressed?
Oh, I think she's... Is she worried?
She's bummed out all the time. It kind of
I've forgotten. It's been so long since I've seen it.
It's been a little while.
I think she's
it's
worried.
Been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Here we are. And
the wild blue yonder.
Vera?
Into the unknown.
Okay, just want to say really quick. If you
Amelia's
haven't seen,
into Frozen 2.
If you haven't seen Frozen 2,
it's so good.
It's a must-see. I love it.
The message is amazing.
Yeah.
Strength for girls.
It's awesome. I loved it.
Go get what they want.
Heck yeah, finding oneself. Definitely.
So cool.
And you know what was really cool that I liked that you said about that too? Was about, because like, she's being called, right? And you were saying that's like Mother God.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah. And I was feeling like it's your calling in life. You know what I mean? So all of us are going to get something else out of it. It's pretty cool. Movies have a way of doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Aloha.
Dogs.
Okay. Hello.
Too bad I
We're
have to
working an hour. Well, we'll
Oh,
talk fast.
hurry. Okay.
Okay. So real quick.
Hi, Tiff.
Private gatherings. If you want to have an evening with Angus, have your friends and family, go to our website. You'll find that information.
Yep.
Have a trance with Angus in your home. Super cool.
Ooh.
Other thing on the list that we wanted to tell you about is super neat. We have a podcast every week. It's on our website. And this week's podcast was This Retrograde is Great. So that's a new one. You can go check that out.
Till March 9th.
Yeah, so check that out. Not the podcast, it's the retrograde. The podcast is only going to be there for a couple more days.
Yeah.
We change it every week.
Yeah.
What else? Do you want to tell them about our viewers' answers?
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Okay.
You're doing so good.
Whenever you ask a question, you will find, if we've answered your question on that video, then you will find your name in the description. Give us a couple days to get your names in there. So just check back on the playlist of whatever your question has to do with. Maybe it's birthmarks or what have you. And the last thing we wanted to tell you is that the viewers that haven't had a chance to ask their question yet, we'll try to answer them first before we do repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll answer, of course, people that have been with us for a long time.
Definitely.
But we want to give everyone a chance.
Yeah, exactly. We love you all. And then, of course, lastly, please subscribe, like, and share, and comment, because getting out the message and sharing the love is what it's all about.
And the only reason we don't have it where you can watch it after the video or before the video is because YouTube changed their way of doing things, and we can't do that anymore. You have to have software. So whenever we get software, we'll be able to do that, and we won't have to say this every single time.
I'm looking forward to
I know,
that.
it's like,
we don't want to bore you guys.
I know.
So, okay, Vera, we have a few questions that we're going to address today.
Okay.
Where do we want to start? I mean, we have a few questions, and we have a super cool message from Angus that I can't wait to hear again.
Yeah. Well, because
you just shared it right before
it was
we went
brought
live.
to my attention that I haven't said anything about what's going to happen if Trump is elected or not elected in terms of what's going to go on with, because I said a lot of the Civil War people are in here now because we're going to be dealing with something like that again. And sometimes hi Chris, you haven't seen you in a while. I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying that
to be young again.
No, you were saying that you were answering questions and you weren't sure if
I'm not sure if I tell you or I'm telling you. So if I haven't said it, I don't believe Trump's going to be reelected. But he's not going anywhere voluntarily. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So I've said before, we know there's going to be some type of, I don't want to say altercation, but some type of...
Serious unrest?
Yeah, very serious. And it's because his group doesn't want him to leave, and they will do whatever,
Vera, I know we've shared what Angus said about this. In a trance, he was...
I thought we did.
He was saying that that there was going to be a type of almost revolutionary war or rebellion. It was going to be, type of thing, which is fascinating because of all the entities that we're back in from the Civil War times and what's happening now.
And that's why I ask all the Democratic candidates, I've written letters, what are you going to do when he won't leave?
Exactly. I mean,
I've not gotten anything back.
Because he's not gonna. He doesn't follow
I know,
the rules.
but what are we prepared to do?
Right.
I'm not talking about we want to be violent, but we have to be able to have a plan of what to do when he doesn't want to go. And then he's going to have all these people around him that have guns.
I know, because I
He's
see
got
that
the
on
military,
the
he's
internet
got-
all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
And
they're
just people that don't want him to leave office, and it's not right. That's not the way that our democracy is set up, and that's where Angus was saying that this is the point of where our democracy can either go down and disappear, basically.
Well, Putin has
or-
endorsed
or
him.
overcome. We need to overcome it.
So
together.
What does that tell you right there? And he's going to interfere again in the elections. But we still have to vote. I mean, I don't want, that's why sometimes I don't want to say anything, because I don't want you guys to not have hope, just think, well, why vote? But we have to have a voice. We have to say something. Otherwise, it's going to be worse than what's happening now.
Yeah, and you're not
Worse, I'm telling you.
You and Angus are not saying that it's totally not going to happen, but it depends on what we do too.
Exactly.
We have to activate. This is a moment in our world's history of what are we going to do? I mean, it kind of reminds me of, Angus was sharing one time this life he had where he was not able to, he fought against who was in power at the time, but he didn't win. He actually died. But he said, it's not important that we died, it's important that we stood against it.
Exactly.
And that is what we are so proud when we do go home to the other side, to look back on our life and say, you know what, maybe I didn't win, but at least I was on the right side of history, and I stood up for people who needed to be defended, and our human rights and everything else that's so important right now.
And all this gaslighting that's going on with all these other senators they're saying things that they want you to believe even though it's not true. And it's like, well, I'm saying
it's
it, so
ridiculous.
it's true. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, boggles my mind.
Yeah,
sometimes I just have to
but that's
take a respite from it and not watch.
I know, but that's their lesson, really it is. Their lesson or not, if they're going to grow, of standing up for what's right or going along with just this, like you said, gaslighting, this covering up just to go along with what's easy to stay in power and keep money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the hopeful and good part about this discussion that we're having today is that Vera, I'm not sure if you're going to share it now or a little bit later in the video, but Vera got a message from Angus to kind of help us all along in this time with what's going on, which is a super cool message.
Exactly.
Did you want to start off with some of our viewers' questions first?
No.
Or did you want to start off with
I'll
the
just
message?
do this so we could, go right into something else.
For sure.
Yeah, because we do have to vote. We have to keep the people that are in office honest and do what we elected them to do.
Right.
So, okay, enough of that. Okay.
Roxanne was asking, how can we conquer this electoral vote?
We have to just keep bombarding them and telling them what, it's just not fair the way things are going right now. And I don't know how it got so out of hand, because the Democrats have been in there. I was telling you the other day, I don't know what party to be in. I've been Democrat my whole life, but that's because my parents were. Because I wasn't really into the politics. I was living my life. I was raising my child, my grandchildren, But you have to be engaged, or otherwise this happens. There's so much injustice, and we just think, well, we got to pay rent. And we do. But we have to be able to have something to not live up to, but to live on to, to keep living and not have to struggle so much. We have to let them know what we want as people in the country.
Yeah, like Angus said about this, is that we got too comfortable.
Yeah.
And now it's come up to where this is what our next generation is now fighting. I mean, us too. but our kids, these young people now, are like, where we might have not been as politically involved, the young people now are certainly politically involved because of what's going on right now.
And I don't know about you guys, but my personal thing is, I want a woman this time. I want a woman because men have been screwing things up. So give us a chance and see what we can do.
Yeah, that's
so going to Roxanne, she's saying that she thinks if Stacey A is a VP, then the Dem will win. I think if it's a woman, but right now everyone's afraid that a woman cannot beat Donald Trump. Try it.
Well, actually, doesn't it make sense? Talk about the balancing of karmic situations. It seems like that would be the perfect person now because of Donald Trump's past.
Yeah, and what he does and what he's about.
Not just his past.
And remember, the way we
present.
believe about karma is not that it's punishment.
No,
it's lessons.
Balancing.
Yeah,
it's a balancing of experience.
And it's lessons.
That's what happens. Exactly.
Because there's like instant karma. Whenever you trip someone and then you trip. I mean that's a that's kind of a silly example.
But you're just making a point.
Yes.
We get it. Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's hear Angus's message.
Okay, this is what he said. And you guys, I got this last night.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah. So I'm trying to write everything down, and then I'm like, I'll remember because this is just too good. You never do that again, I say every single time. Okay.
Oh, so here's a nice picture that we can all visualize.
Yeah.
Zoom in, zoom in.
That's what we need to have that sword when we...
Yeah.
Okay, with the bombardment of all the politics and division in the world, the energy is penetrating your very pores. Then add a little dose of life, and it makes one anxious, stressed, even fed up, or have lack of hope. And then he has, fear not. I am reminding you, you are strong. You are loved. You are protected. When you falter, we hold you up. When you can't take another step, we hold you steady. When you need encouragement, we whisper in your ear. When you are ready to walk, we walk with you every step of the way. So remember, you are loved. You are strong, you are loved, you are protected. And he says you can take that, as they say, to the bank.
Let's go to the bank. Yeah. Hey, okay, I want to share one thing really fast. Okay. I wanted to tell everybody that one of the things Angus was saying recently is that there is so much negativity hanging around right now. So when you were talking about this message, last night when I was falling asleep, I was like being so troubled. How negativity hanging around affects us can sometimes be negative emotions that are bothering us from out of nowhere. You know, that's how negativity affects us, right? And so I had a dream, and in my dream, it was almost like I was acting on the negative emotions that I was feeling. And when I woke up, I was so glad it was just a dream. And the reason I wanted to share that is because some of you might be, that's how the negativity hanging around right now might be affecting you. And like she was just saying, like Vera was just saying, is that when they're right there guiding us and helping us, it can be through dreams. They can be giving us messages to keep us on track and not get distracted by negativity and stay focused on the positive, on our path. So I just wanted to share that.
And righteous anger is empowering. It's whenever it's just that angry where you have no power inside because you're just angry at everything. We have righteous anger because we want this to be fixed.
Exactly.
So that helps a lot more.
Well put.
I think angry's in that message, just didn't put it, because it's, you get fed up, and sometimes you just want to just give up and say, oh, they're going to do whatever they want anyway. Well, no, they won't if we don't let them. I mean, we left the monarchy, right? We did that, so.
True. Exactly.
And if anybody has not seen a Washington series on History Channel, watch it. That guy was amazing. He really was.
Very cool. Well, we'll have to watch that. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So enough of that.
All right. So we've got a few viewers' questions as far as just different subjects, and then we also have birthmarks. So how many did you want to do? What
Well, it
would you
depends
like
on
to
time.
do?
I don't want to keep like too many people
Okay.
on here.
So.
So I have Twinkle Karma first.
Oh, okay. Let's go find her.
I think she's on page 2. Oh,
Karma.
I went from page 1 to 2. Never mind. Don't start
Okay.
with Twinkle.
Okay. Did you want?
We're gonna go on page 1 because these ones are older.
Okay.
This one is this rose has thorns. I like that.
Okay. You want me to read her question?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
I have a mole on my right arm. It's a perfect circle and it's really dark. My sister and mother have a mole on the exact same place on their bodies, but mine is the darkest. I seem to struggle in this life and with my inner darkness, and I have an unnatural fear of being called the bad woman. Does this mean anything?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes, it does. Okay, now darkest mole doesn't mean that it's bad. You know, sometimes it means that you have the most passion too, or that you are bad. In a past life, the 3 of you were sisters. You weren't really related, but you guys clung to each other because it was during the time of Jack the Ripper. During that time, so look that part up, and they'll see what you had to go through. But the mole that you're talking about is a reminder of protection because you in that life, wherever your mole was, you guys didn't have the moles then. You have them now because you want to remember that past life. But whenever you sense danger, your arm would itch. There was a certain part of your arm, and it was like a tingle kind of thing, not itchy, but like a.
This is making me itch.
Yeah, it's a tingle that you.
I'm
you
sensing
would get.
dangers, Jack the Ripper.
And then you would know. It's not just Jack the Ripper they had to be protected from. There was a lot of bad stuff going on during that time. But that represented the way that you kept the 3 of you safe. So,
Wow.
Let's see. Okay,
That's
at first,
intuitive.
and then at first your sisters didn't believe you, but then you actually saved them from being killed. So then they were on board on that. But then there started getting a rumor around about you that you knew things and that you were weird.
Oh no!
So that's where you get the
wonder.
bad. It's not bad. It was just that you had extra psychic ability.
Right. And she
Not
felt
extra,
like
but psychic
she
ability.
was wrongly accused, and that's
Yeah.
sometimes we absorb that.
Yeah, and she was labeled like she was crazy. But the 3 of them knew. So, and you didn't care in that past life that they thought that. Mm-hmm. But the moles are a reminder of your ability for you too, is to embrace who you are. For all of you, even the other 2. And let's see, to embrace who you are. Oh, and I put warts and all, no pun intended. You know, because they thought you were a witch kind of thing. Yes. Yeah. But back then it was like you were nuts. And there was even somebody on, I think it was on TV or something, that this lady was hearing voices. And I don't know if she was talking to Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. And I don't know what they said about it, but it'd be interesting to find out. All right, so that's her.
Embrace your ability.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, embrace who you are.
Yeah, I was just reading the comments. Roxanne was saying, embrace your ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Embrace what you want to do, who you are. Yeah, definitely.
And then the
Good
next
message,
one is
Vera. Good message.
Snuff.
Okay.
Snuff Knulle? Knulle?
Snuff
Knulle?
Knulle. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
I have a big 3-inch
Oh, I like this one.
light brown birthmark
She has a butt mark on her birthmark.
on my right butt cheek. It looks like a heart set on fire. That's a cool and interesting shape. Okay, let's hear about the butt cheek birthmark.
Oh, okay. I'm
Heart
looking at another one. I'm
set
going,
on
wait a
fire.
minute. I looked at the wrong one. Okay, so this one, I didn't even see fire flame. I'll get to you next time. Sorry about that. So I got that you, Snuff, were a cowboy and you loved being under the stars. I mean, that was just one of the things he used to love to, like, you know, where they are outside and they're looking up at the stars. I mean, that was like everything to him. That was just like what he was meant to do. So You loved being under the stars. You felt one with the universe, kind of thing. And your horse was named
Snuff?
Fire.
Oh. That's cool. He loved his horse and he loved being out there.
And the horse was his safe place.
Oh, that's
so that's
neat.
just a reminder about how you love that
That's
feeling of,
neat.
you know, just being one with the universe and just, it was a simple life, you know, it was just, and you made a good living, so it was good. It was good for you.
Sound like his horse was a great friend, his good friend in that life.
Fire. I never heard of a horse named Fire, but now we have.
That's super neat.
I'm sure there is, but I just never have.
Okay. So, I have a question. We're at 20 minutes.
Who has a question?
I have a question.
Oh.
We're at 20 minutes. Do we want to
Oh.
answer a couple of these and do this? Do you have more on birthmarks?
I have a whole bunch on birthmarks. I went to town.
Do you want to?
But we can answer Linda.
Okay. So we'll do some of this for
We'll
our
do
video.
our next one.
Yeah,
next
'cause
video.
If you guys want to know, in the middle of the week now we are releasing a video that you'll
like
just
on
check
Tuesday or
that.
Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So
next-
Twinkle, you're going to be on the next one,
Okay.
even though I mentioned her.
Well,
yeah.
well, she'll.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll find it. Okay, so this question is for Linda,
Mm-hmm.
and Linda is saying, wondering if. She says, okay, I have a big question I need help with pertaining to a Ouija board. That's my spell. Okay. Need your advice on how to speak to a child about it.
Okay. And it really depends on how old the child is. But if the child is old enough to want to know what a Ouija board is, then, you know, Ouija boards you don't want to mess with, and it's not a plaything. And that's how they sell them, is like it's a game. And it's really, you don't want to mess with it. But you know, when you tell children
Right.
that, what is the first thing they want to do?
Exactly.
Mess with it. So, you know, just tell them that whenever they, what could you tell them? What could you tell them?
Okay, so I was thinking because
you thought about it?
I
Oh,
have,
good.
yeah, I have thought about it because I have little ones in my life.
So do
But
I.
they're not little.
Oh,
They're teens.
you're right, you're
They're
right.
at that wonderful age where they want to experience and explore and
Everything.
have adventures. So I was thinking, knowing that what we know about Ouija
Mm-hmm.
boards are not the most positive thing for them to play with, because
I mean, it can be, but you have to really be careful because you don't know who you're calling in.
right.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I was thinking about was what you could do is suggest something that would be positive and give them technique like let's say the pendulum. Using a pendulum or using cards. You know, there's those divination decks where you can ask for a message and then you shuffle the cards and you get a card. And there's a message or it has a book that goes with it, and that would give them an alternative away from the Ouija board. And of course there's also protection things that you could tell them of asking for God to surround this, whatever they're doing with the white light of the Holy Spirit.
Well, they have to respect it. For the first most important thing is respect that
technique, whatever it is, yeah. But I was thinking, because they're still going to want to do it. They're going to want a message about whatever it is they want to know. But maybe at least that way it could be, because I think of pendulums and card decks is a more positive. I think maybe it's the way I associate it, but from what I've learned and what we've talked about, Ouija boards aren't the best.
Yeah, because you can bring in something negative and it'll follow you around. Who wants that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
but learning to, like you just said, respect the technique, and there's plenty of really good divination decks. I used to have one on angels that I really liked, and you could just ask a question, or even the tarot cards, you know, things like that. So
that's been around for eons.
exactly. So it's still, and then again, they could. Well, we might not want them to light a white candle, right, depending on their age. But there's different positive type of protection type of things that we can call on, and then they can have an alternative instead of the Ouija board. Was there anything else, Vera, that you wanted to pass on to Linda to help her with that?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the first thing is that they have to respect it. You know, that's first and foremost. Oh,
Okay.
England! England swings like a pendulum. We just talked about a past life there. Very cool.
Yeah, that's interesting how there's different viewers, Vera, that you've been getting past lives that weren't there during the Jack the Ripper time. It's interesting because right now women are coming up more in our society, and in that other time when women go through something like that.
And we can't go backwards, ladies. We cannot go backwards.
But that's why we're
And
back
gentlemen.
in. And the same with Civil War entities and these different time periods. We're here now for a reason, so that we can experience the other side and come up with our personal power and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, Vera, is there anything else we want to tell our friends?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking, like, with the Ouija board, I would scare the heck out of them and say, do you want a ghost following you around or something? I don't know. Just something to where they'll think twice about it, because, you know, they'll still try to do it. Doesn't matter.
That's a good idea. I remember when
Cool.
my grandma wanted children to behave, she's like, now you better behave, otherwise the boogeyman will
Yeah,
get you.
yeah. Here it
So,
is. You want the boogeyman to follow
ways
you? Yeah.
will work too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, they treat it like a game, and it's not a game. That's what I would tell them.
That's what your
Yeah.
point was, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
I love England, too.
We love you all.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
England.
And anything else, Vera, you want to tell our
We
friends?
love you.
Love you all.
I want to
Oh.
give a kiss like you do. I love that.
There we go.